If you updated your game today, you got the pleasure of getting a Gladiator buff, and I have a 7-star version of Gladiator, which is really cool. He was my first ever Titan pull, so I'm finally going to get a use for him. And to start the video, I'm going to go over some of the main really good pieces they gave to him in his buff, starting with the first line, which gives him his Vigilance at the very start of the fight. Now, if you have an Awakened Gladiator, you're going to get that. My 7-star is obviously unduped, so I don't have that, but it is really nice because it gives you a nice 15 seconds of anti-miss at the start, and also reduces the chance of armor ups from triggering, so that's really helpful in some matchups. But the big change, for me at least, is the confidence potency getting a really big increase, actually. It's going from 3% to 5%, which is almost double the amount of attack increase from confidence. So that's a really big change. The next big change is, while unstoppable, his confidence cannot be lost during special attacks or when he has ultra confidence, and that makes his playstyle where you want to hit the opponent during their special attacks a lot more manageable, which is a really nice playstyle and really fun playstyle, so I'm really glad they changed that. If we scroll down a bit, the next big change would probably be the Intimidate pause being a lot longer, and the Intimidate itself being a lot longer. This means that you can ramp up up to 18 confidence in your first Intimidation cycle, which is really nice. That is maximum. Don't expect to hit 18 every time, but I've been able to do it a couple times. And then the confidence thresholds are also now lowered, so you get there faster, and then you have a larger cap on confidence just for a little bit more extra damage. So those are the significant changes. There are some that I didn't go over, but I feel like those are the ones worth mentioning the most that really impacted his kit, for me at least. So let's move on to some gameplay. I'm going to start with the pre-buff version against Realm of Legends Captain Marvel, and there are two playstyles for Gladiator. One where you want to spam SB2s, and that's just your easy damage source, but you could also do a rotation where you spam SP1 and then hit the opponent during their special attacks, or whiff your attacks during their special attacks more accurately. But against Captain Marvel, because her special attacks are extremely short, we are going to do the spam SB2 rotation in this fight. At least I think that's what I do. I might change it up a little bit at the end, but at the start we want to get 24 confidence for the pre-buff version, and then we do a bunch of burst damage and stuff. And the burst damage for pre-buff is physical, but the burst damage for post-buff is energy, which isn't really impactful for this fight. I'm actually going to go for an SP1 here, just to start placing some cold snaps. And I'm not really sure if this was the best way to do it, but this is how I'm going to do it for this fight. And you can see we're just not hitting that hard. We have some decent red numbers, but we took a hit there, lost some confidence, and that's one of the nice changes about the buff, is that now that won't happen when you're unstoppable. At least I'm pretty sure it might happen normally, but during special attacks I know it won't. I can't remember for certain, but there we got hit, but it's okay. And then we are going to go for an SP1 here, place some cold snaps, and again we lost some confidence there, but it's okay, and we just want to kill him. So I didn't actually go for the spam SP2 rotation when I was thinking, but for pre-buff Gladiator that might not have mattered too much. And now I'm going to show you post-buff Gladiator and see how that happens. So we're gonna throw the Intimidate early, and you're gonna see it's gonna be longer, and the pause is also gonna be a lot longer. We're gonna get how many confidence on our first cycle? We get 11 of them, and that was with some weird AI dashing back and stuff, which does happen a lot with Intimidate. It is worth mentioning, but at the same time we got 25 just like that. I went for a risky combo enter just because why not, it's Realm of Legends, but realistically I should have just used another heavy attack or something, or just waited. Just waiting would have been smarter, but it's okay. We're going to throw the SP2, we get some decent damage, and we're actually hitting a lot harder than we did previously. Our incinerates are ticking pretty nicely, and we are just going to try to get to an SP2. I'm going to save my unblockable until I get to that SP2. We're going to do a nice 18,000 damage at the end of her special attack. And we throw some more Incinerate to do some more burst damage, and if we can ever get a heavy crit, it feels kind of nice. We don't really get heavy crits, but it's okay. Do some more burst damage, and I think at this point, I'm okay, well, she's about to die, so I'm just going to SP1. So the fight went about 20 seconds faster, which isn't necessarily crazy, but I think one of the big changes about the buff is not necessarily you're going to have ridiculous more damage, but you're going to have an easier ramp up and stuff. So this is pre-buff Gladiator against Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, and we're doing the thing where we want to hit him while he is throwing a special attack. And as you saw there, we were getting hit by the special attack and losing confidence. And that is not going to happen with the buff. You're going to see, as soon as this fight ends, what the buff looks like. And this is the second rotation I choose. And here we're going to go for an SP1. He's going to throw a special attack at the end. And we don't lose confidence when we take hits, and we take barely any damage. It's really, really fun, really, really nice. And just like that, we're going to go for another SP1. He's going to throw his SP2, or I'm going to try to get him to throw his SP2. And he does. We don't lose any confidence, and we just kill him like that. So it's a really fun playstyle. Obviously, the larger the attack rating of the defender, the more that hurts. But even if you're fighting really large attack pools, you have a massive damage reduction during special attacks while he's unstoppable. So it doesn't even feel that bad. Okay, so now we have pre-buff Gladiator versus this test dummy I like to do for Battlegrounds fights, and this is Venom the Duck in 641. It has about 185,000 health, so this is kind of a 6-star rank 4 defender, and since Gladiator is a 7-star, we are like half a rank ahead, so we are punching down a little bit, but this is like the best BGs testing fight that I can get since I'm not in the CCP, so bear with me. We're going to ramp up our confidence and stuff, and we're going to go for an SP2 as soon as I can get Unblockable lined up again, which I'm going to get pretty soon, right there, and then we throw it, and we do some nice burst damage, and now we're just kind of waiting for Venom the Duck to throw a special attack. He does, I block it, and now I'm going to do a heavy into an SP1. That's going to give me the Unstoppable. And as you saw earlier, when you use post-buff Gladiator, you don't have to worry too much about getting to an SP2, because when you're using a pre-buff Gladiator, you have to actually use a lot more heavy attacks, but with post-buff Gladiator, you have to only use maybe 1, 2, if, like, in specific scenarios, you need, like, 3 heavy attacks to fully ramp. But you're going to see me place the Intimidate, hit his block, and we're just hitting his block, and we're just hitting his block, and just look how many confidence we have with only 1 heavy attack. And so, when we were fighting the last fight, we had to deal with the fact that we were getting a lot more power than we might have wanted if we wanted to use an SP1 early, but now that's not necessarily the case because we're hitting blocks so much early in the fight. So we bait his SP2, we do so much burst damage, and now we're going to dash in at the end of the attack, and just look how fast this Venom the Duck is going to go down. That was only like 35 seconds, and granted, he did place a bleed on me, so that did hurt a little bit, but not every champion is going to be doing damage over time and stuff. So, speaking of which, here's this Fant Man here. This is a rank 5 Ascended Fant Man, so we are punching up a good bit. And we're going to test out post-buff Gladiator in this fight and see how well he's going to do for it. If you have the Vigilance at the start of the fight with a duped Gladiator, you're going to be reducing the ability accuracy of his armor ups. I'm not entirely sure how that works with Fant Man's kit specifically, because I know he gains passive somehow. I can't tell you exactly how he does it, I just don't remember. But I'm not entirely sure if that is actually something to worry about, but at the same time, I'm just gonna do my normal Gladiator things, throw an SP1, gain the Unstoppable, and now we're gonna hit him a good bit when he's doing an SP1, and we do some really nice damage, which it's really fun. I keep talking about how fun that playstyle is. When it works, it's just a really good time. So we're gonna go for another Unstoppable, and we want him to throw an SP1, and he does, and we kill him before the last hit even triggers, and we killed that Fant Man punching up in only 54 seconds, so that was actually a really, really fun fight. Okay, so this fight I'm actually going to screw up a lot, but I just want to tell you that he is actually really, really good for Rintrah, which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, the matchup works, and that's because all of his buffs have an extra 200% ability accuracy, so Neutralize doesn't stop him from gaining confidence, gaining unblockable, gaining unstoppable, all of that he can just kind of do without Neutralize affecting it. You can see me getting the confidence buffs in there. What's gonna make me lose a lot of health in this fight is just me forgetting how Rintrah works for some reason, like how he gains unstoppable and stun immunity, but we'll get to that later. Here, I want him to throw a special attack, and because his specials are so long, we can just do a full combo before he finishes his special attack and just do so much burst damage. So we're gonna get an unstoppable, and watch when he throws the SP1. I'm just gonna constantly hit him because it's just okay. So I'm gonna mess up the end because I kind of forgot that he gains mystical charges when he hits me. So I should have actually dashed away, and you're gonna see me just lose so much health because of that. But look, the score is really bad, but he's really good for Rintrah, and I forgot he's stun immune. I'm just so stupid, but whatever. He's actually really good for Rintrah. You just need to play it a little bit better than I did. And yeah, so that's a really nice fight right there. Rank 4 Rintrah dusted in 60 seconds with a Cosmic Champ. How many Cosmics can do that? So, really fun fight there. Next up I have a Mysterio, and there are recoils in this fight, but you can pretty much disregard them because the reason I'm showing you this fight is because I'm going to fight the same fight later, and I just want to compare how sometimes AI can really screw you up, and that's just because Gladiator's an AI-reliant character, and if you know my feelings on Adam Warlock and other AI-reliant characters, I'm not a big fan of them. And I figured this was really important to put at the end of the video because a lot of the fights have just looked picture perfect, but there's going to be examples like this one and the next one that just don't look so good. So this fight's going to go pretty well. Mysterio was playing ball, he was actually blocking and stuff when intimidated. I threw my SP1 into his block, but I knew it wouldn't matter because I'm getting unstoppable. And here's a really fun thing you can do, where you just combo him during a special one, kind of like Rintrah's, where it's a really long time. I just ate a heavy attack because I'm bad, but we're going to throw an SP1 here, and it's not going to kill, but once he throws his SP2, or just the relic, never mind. So we killed him, a rank 2 Mysterio, in 63 seconds, which isn't that bad because we were an entire rank behind and stuff. But here is where the AI just sometimes messes you up, and I'm not going to say I played this fight perfectly, but it didn't go well, and okay, that part was just me being an idiot trying to light attack into a heavy attack, like I'm a Tigra player or something. But either way, we get him to dash back, he dashes back again, and now I get parried, and it's just, he threw a light attack while he was intimidated, and I'm like, okay, why'd you do that, buddy? So now I'm wasting a lot of time, because stuff like that can happen, where they just do some weird stuff instead of dashing back like they're supposed to. We throw another heavy attack, get another Intimidate, and we don't get him to block, because again, Intimidate's acting a little wonky. Or actually I just hit him instead of him getting I can't talk. But I hit him when he was dashing back, and he didn't block when I wanted him to block. But that's okay, we're still doing fine. I wanted him to throw a special attack, and he's just not doing it. Finally does, but while you're not unstoppable, you can do 2 hits like that, which is nice. Anyway, here I'm throwing an SP1, we get unstoppable now, so I think I'm gonna try to get him to throw his special, and he doesn't, so my unstoppable is gone when I could have had a really nice damage window. So there's another reason the AI can mess you up. If they just don't throw their special attacks when you have that unstoppable, you lose a lot of damage time. So here he still doesn't throw it, here he still doesn't throw it, so I accidentally threw my relic. I think I was trying to dash back, but at the same time he's gonna die anyway, so that was a really bad score. Some of it was my fault, some of it was just weird AI stuff, and that's just something that needs to be brought attention to, because any characters relying on AI, like Gladiator, like Adam Warlock, can just get screwed over by said AI sometimes. So anyway, overall I think Gladiator is very cool. I think the buff did pretty much everything I wanted him to get. The only thing I might have wished for was like a taunt, like in that Mysterio fight, when like I have unstoppable, I would kind of like the opponent to be taunted instead of intimidated on my heavy attack, but it's not necessary. It's a really fun playstyle, and even when the AI screws you over sometimes, that's just the thing with AI characters, you kind of have to deal with it. So thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.